Serial killers have been around for a really long time, and the concept isn't new itself. It wasn't until the early 1980s that the media began popularizing the term and changing the views and forming stereotypes we identify these people with. So, why are so many people enticed by the terrible things serial murderers do? Does the media accurately portray these people? I believe that the media has romanticized serial killers in a damaging way, in which it makes it hard for people to understand the true dangers of real life murderers. The FBI defines serial murder as unlawful killing of two or more victims by the same offender in separate events. There are many myths about serial killers that they are considered insane, they can't stop killing, or that many of them are intelligent. There are many sides to a serial killer that it can be really hard to understand their true intentions. Criminology is about trying to categorize and find distinct patterns and create a reasonable hypothesis using biological, physiological, and sociological theories of causation. In the 1980s, the Reagan administration worked to morally clean up the country from its devious behaviors. In response, serial killers have been adopted by mainstream media as the most godforsaken, morally reprehensible thing ever conceived. Studies were done with coverages about serial killers from the past century, in which we only care about the bizarre aspects of crime and sensationalize serial killers. Just look at all those Netflix documentaries. It went to a point where some thought that maybe the media had an influence on the rise of serial killers from the 80s to the 2000s. They looked at many reports and cases with many references to words and connotations like monster, evil, and killers, and reviewed selected killers. People like Jeffrey Dahmer were looked at, whose case studies were not influenced by social media, but rather his sheer hate for prostitutes. In this case study, it was noted that the media did not influence a majority of serial killers they looked into, but rather a vast array of reasons they did or what they not did. Yes, let's wonder if the media is affecting our views about serial killers and creating a sort of negative effect on society and our culture. Many have thought to push for heavier legislation against these films and publishings to put an end of the sensationalism of this phenomenon, but it most likely won't happen without public support, but it would be interesting to see how it turns out.